You've been taught to look outward for power, to climb, to conquer, to control. The world tells you to straighten the line, to push against the current, to force the unfolding of what is not yet ripe. But the ancient ones, those who walked among the stars before memory, those whose whispers echo still through pages like the Kabbalion, they taught something else. They taught rhythm, not as something to master over, but as something to master within. All things flow in and out. All things rise and fall. The tides of the ocean, the tides of your breath, the tides of your joy and sorrow. They obey the same unseen current, the same sacred pulse that hums through galaxies and hearts alike. This is the law of rhythm, immutable, unseen, undeniable. To resist it is to suffer. To dance with it is to awaken. But modern life seduces us into the illusion of permanence. We crave the light and flee the dark. We celebrate beginnings and mourn endings, never noticing that one cannot exist without the other. We attempt to freeze time in the moment of peak bloom, forgetting that it is winter that deepens the roots. This illusion, this gripping at control, has hardened our hearts. We have been taught to fear the ebb, as failure to fear the pause, as laziness to fear the fall, as weakness. But look closer. In every breath you take, there is an inhale and a release. In every heartbeat, a surge and a softening. Even the mighty sun must sleep beneath the horizon. Who are we to claim exemption from what even the stars obey? The law of rhythm, as Thoth taught, it is not meant to punish, but to harmonize. It is a teaching of mercy, not cruelty. It says nothing lasts forever, and that is liberation. No sorrow is permanent. No joy is final. All things move. All things change. And the wise do not cling. They flow. Think now of a river. Have you ever tried to hold it still in your hands? The tighter you grip, the faster it escapes. But when you relax, when you let it run its course, it carries you. It shows you places you never knew you longed for. Your life is like that. Your seasons, your moods, your passions, and your heartbreaks. They are the river, the rhythm, the breath of the all moving through you. So, what does it mean truly to awaken to this law? It begins with surrender. Not the defeatist kind, but the sacred kind. The kind that says, I no longer wage war with the rhythm of life. I learn to listen. I learn to sway. In the Hermetic teachings, all motion is vibration, and vibration is rhythm. You are not separate from this music. You are not the conductor standing apart. You are the note, the song, the silence between the beats. And when you learn to feel it, to really feel it, you begin to remember that the rise and fall were never punishment. They were choreography. Let yourself feel the rhythm in your own life. Notice the cycles of energy, creativity, rest, and renewal. Stop labeling some as productive and others as lazy. That is the thinking of machines. But you are no machine. You are cosmos, clothed in flesh. Here is your first practice. Stop resisting the low tide. When you feel your energy wane, your heart turn inward, your soul quiet, honor it. Don't force the rise. Tend the root. Trust the dark. For in the ebb lies the gathering of power for the next surge. In the quiet lies the wisdom not yet spoken. Ask yourself now gently, where am I resisting the rhythm of my own life? What am I trying to control that is asking to be released? Let this be the moment you turn inward. Let this be the moment you remember the truth. Power is not in the fight, it is in the flow. The pendulum swings, left to right, joy to sorrow, fullness to emptiness, and back again. This is not misfortune. This is not failure. This is the divine breath of the cosmos moving through the dual nature of reality. The Hermetic law of polarity teaches that opposites are the same in kind, only different in degree. And the law of rhythm, its dancing partner, tells us that these opposites do not remain still. They move, they swing, and if we resist the swing, we suffer. To understand this is to begin to see life not as a line, but as a spiral, a sacred curve that deepens with each return. The same lesson perhaps, but at a deeper octave. The same sorrow, but with more grace. The same joy, but with more humility. Nothing returns as it was. It returns wiser. You may have noticed this in your own becoming. That when life lifts you high, when the light pours in and everything blooms, you feel invincible, powerful, whole. But then just as easily, you find yourself pulled into contraction, into confusion, quiet sadness. You ask, what happened, as if the light abandoned you? But it didn't. It simply bowed. Because all things that rise must fall, and all things that fall shall rise again. The ancients knew this. They observed it in the heavens, in the moon, in the breath, in the tides of the Nile. Thoth, the keeper of time, saw the pendulum not as a threat, but as a teacher. He whispered, ride it, don't resist it, transmute it, observe the swing, but do not be caught in it. You are not the swing, you are the center. The secret is in your awareness. The deeper your center, the less you are thrown. The more you witness the swing without identifying with it, the more you master the rhythm. The Kabbalion speaks of this mastery. The master neutralizes the rhythm, not by stopping it, because that cannot be done, but by rising above its lower effects, by learning to use the swing to generate motion in your favor. Imagine a surfer on the waves. She does not curse the ocean when it throws her. She learns its patterns. She learns when to dive, when to rise, and when to let go. This is you learning to surf your emotions, your energy, your seasons of expansion and retreat. Let's bring this home when you're in a cycle of struggle. Perhaps the loss of a job, a breakup, or just that heavy silence that sometimes moves in uninvited. It can feel like you've failed, like you're broken. But pause. What if this is simply the backswing before the forward motion? What if this descent is preparing you for a greater ascent? What if the law is working for you, not against you? Take this practical step. Begin to track your emotional rhythms, not to control them, but to witness them. Journal for 1 month. Notice your highs and lows and ask, is there a rhythm here? Is there a pattern beneath the surface? And here's another. During the highs anchor, practice humility. Ground yourself in presence. Don't cling to the joy, for clinging only deepens the fall. During the lows, remember this too is rhythm. This too shall pass. Tend to your roots. Speak gently to yourself. The swing back is already on its way. You are learning the art of rhythm. And rhythm is not about balance as stasis, it is balance in motion. It is the grace to sway without falling, the strength to move without fear. Ask yourself now, not with judgment, but curiosity. Do I allow myself to swing, or do I resist? Where in my life am I gripping too tightly to one pole, afraid of the other? Let this question soften you. Let it make space inside you. For when you stop fearing the swing, you begin to hear the music. There is a mirror in the sky, and it is always speaking. The moon, pale-faced and ancient, whispers the rhythm of the cosmos in a language deeper than words. She pulls the tides of oceans, the waters of the womb, the cycles of seed and bloom. And she pulls on you too, not metaphorically, but truly. For you are water, and water remembers. The moon is not just a light in the night sky. She is a sacred mirror of rhythm, waxing, waning, full, empty, revealed, hidden. She teaches without voice that every phase is holy, that there is no shame in being dark, no superiority in being full. There is only flow. There is only the eternal returning. We are taught to fear our inner new moons, the times of rest, confusion, retreat. But just as the moon disappears, not because she is gone, but because she turns inward, so too do we. Your light has not vanished. It is simply facing elsewhere, gathering itself, preparing for another revelation. If the moon is the mirror of cosmic rhythm, then the breath is its echo within you. Inhale, exhale, expansion, contraction. Every breath you take is a cycle completed, a death and rebirth, a microcosmic journey of the all within the sanctuary of your lungs. You need not learn it, it is already happening. Your body is more faithful to rhythm than your mind will ever be. When you forget who you are, return to the breath. Not to control it, but to witness it. Watch the rise, watch the fall. This is not just oxygen, it is initiation. It is the rhythm of creation, alive inside you. Let this be your daily practice, moon watching and breath watching. Not as rituals of effort, but as invitations into harmony. On the night of the new moon, turn your gaze inward. What is being seeded? What is growing in the dark? On the night of the full moon, reflect what has come to light, what must now be released. Likewise, at least once a day, pause to feel your breath. Not just breathe, but feel. Can you surrender to its rhythm? Can you allow yourself to be breathed by life rather than always trying to drive it? In this slowing down, in this deep listening, a secret begins to emerge. The outer cycles and the inner ones are not separate. As above, so below. As without, so within. This is the principle of correspondence. The Hermetic key that reveals your inner world is a map of the stars. You are not merely affected by the moon. You are the moon. You wax and wane. You rise and set. You reflect, you reveal. Your light is not always visible, and that is not failure. It is designed. We often seek flow thinking it is a state of constant motion. But true flow is rhythmic. It includes a pause. It includes silence. It includes the still pool as much as the roaring river. And when we stop resisting these pauses, when we allow the ebb, the retreat, the fallow fields, we begin to taste the kind of peace that cannot be disturbed. Because it does not depend on perpetual light. Life example. A woman enters a phase of burnout after a period of deep inspiration and output. She feels ashamed, confused. But rather than push, she begins to chart her energy like the moon. She notices her surge and her decline. She plans her projects around her inner tide. Over time, she creates more with less strain. Her creativity becomes cyclical, powerful, sustainable. She no longer fears the dark because she knows it is simply the turn of the moon. You can do this too. Begin to ask, what is the rhythm of my week, my month, my year? Where do I feel most alive? Where do I feel the pull to rest? Can I trust those cues instead of overriding them? The modern world teaches us to move in straight lines, but the cosmos moves in spirals, circles, breath, and bloom. The wise do not mimic machines. They mirror the moon. So ask yourself softly, what cycle am I in now? And what would it feel like to honor it instead of hide it? Let the rhythm return. Let it become your compass. Let it remind you that you are not out of sync. You are simply being invited to listen. The tree does not curse the winter. It stands naked and still beneath gray skies and biting wind, utterly unashamed. It knows the frost is not the end. It knows the fall of its leaves is not a failure, but a release, a sacred preparation. It knows the seasons are not enemies, but initiations. And so it waits silent and powerful, trusting the rhythm that pulses beneath the frozen soil. So too, you have inner seasons. There are times of harvest and joy when all is bright, and the fruit of your efforts ripens sweetly. And there are times of stillness when nothing seems to grow, when your soul turns inward, and your voice feels like a whisper from somewhere far away. These are not problems to be fixed. They are sacred rhythms to be honored. The law of rhythm teaches that all things rise and fall, ebb and flow, blossom and decay. But we forget that this law applies within us as well. We try to sustain a summer state of being, forever productive, ever inspired, always certain. But this is illusion. And it is not only unsustainable, it is unkind. The body knows, the soul knows, but the mind trained in linear ambition panics. It interprets the winter as failure. It dreads the autumn of letting go. It mourns the spring's uncertainty. It clings to summer worships the light and ignores the sacred teachings of the dark. But the alchemist does not resist the seasons. The alchemist works with them. Spiritual alchemy is not about turning lead into gold by force. It is about understanding the processes of inner transmutation, the ways in which life through rhythm matures the soul. And every season holds a gift. Winter is the season of stillness and listening, the time of root and rest. It strips away illusion and forces us to meet ourselves without decoration. In winter, the soul whispers truths too quiet for the noise of summer. Spring is the energy of becoming uncertain, bold, tender. It's the courage to begin again, to plant new seeds even when you are still thawing from the cold. Summer is fullness, radiance, and expression. It is joy, yes, but also a test of humility. Can you shine without becoming drunk on the light? Can you use your warmth to nurture, not scorch? Autumn is the art of letting go, the wisdom to release what is finished, to return what has served its purpose, to trust the beauty in endings. When you see your moods, your creativity, your passion, your desires through this lens, you begin to soften. You begin to trust your cycles instead of judging them. You learn when to act and when to wait, when to speak and when to listen. Consider a real-life reflection. Someone chasing clarity in a time meant for rest will only create noise. Someone forcing creation in a season of decay will find only frustration. But someone who learns to honor their season, who says, I am in an inner winter, and that is sacred, begins to live with grace. Here is a practical practice. Name your season right now. Not just externally, but inwardly. Is your heart in spring? Is your mind in autumn? Are your emotions blooming or releasing? No answer is wrong. But when you name it, you align with it. And alignment is power. Another practice: align your actions with your inner season. If you're in winter, prioritize rest. Say no. Tend to your inner soil. If you're in spring, dream and initiate. Take small steps. If you're in summer, share your gifts, express boldly. And if you're in autumn, reflect, release, grieve if needed. The Hermetic teachings say, to change your mood or mental state, change your vibration. But changing vibration does not always mean forcing joy. Sometimes it means aligning so deeply with your present truth that resistance falls away and your vibration rises naturally. You are not meant to be constant. You are meant to be whole. And wholeness includes the ebb and the flow, the rise and the fall, the bloom and the bare branch. Ask yourself with love, what inner season am I trying to skip? What gift might it hold if I stayed a little longer? Let the rhythm guide you. Let the seasons within be honored, like temples, each one sacred in its own right. For when you live in harmony with your inner cycle, you become a master, not of control, but of timing. And timing, as any alchemist will tell you, is everything. To master rhythm is not to escape the swing, but to rise above it. The pendulum still moves. The tides still flow. But something has changed within you. You no longer fear the motion. You no longer cling to the highs or curse the lows. You watch with clear eyes, calm breath, and a steady heart. You are no longer a leaf tossed by the wind. You are the axis, the still point at the center of the wheel. The Kabbalion says the master of rhythm polarizes himself at the point where he desires to rest and then neutralizes the rhythmical swing of the pendulum, which would tend to carry him to the other pole. This is not a metaphor, it is an instruction. There comes a moment when you no longer merely observe the cycles, you begin to steer within them. Not by denying the laws, but by aligning with a higher octave of them. This is the work of the true spiritual alchemist, not to be free from law, but free through law. What does this look like in life? It looks like meeting a wave of anxiety, not with panic, but with presence. Recognizing its rhythm, naming it, and anchoring yourself in a higher vibration. You do not deny the feeling. You transmute it. You choose where to stand. It looks like being in a moment of creative drought, and rather than forcing output, you lean into replenishment. You tend your soil. You trust the return. It looks like joy that does not make you reckless and sorrow that does not make you collapse. It looks like steadiness in the storm and humility in the sunshine. It looks like living from your center, not your extremes. To polarize oneself is to choose vibration, to choose frequency. In the Hermetic teachings, all is vibration, and vibration is the secret code of reality. Your thoughts, your emotions, your focus, these are not passive. They are levers of creation. They are tuning forks. When you choose to dwell in the vibration of peace, gratitude, or clarity, you shift the swing, not by stopping it, but by rising above its lower frequency. Imagine a swing set. The child swings wildly up and down, but high above there is a platform. You climb to it, not to stop the swing, but to view it from above. From here, you see the motion, but you are not moved by it. You are centered, intentional, awake. This is the mastery of rhythm, and it does not mean you will never feel again. It means your feelings are no longer dictators, they become messengers. You listen, and then choose. Here's a powerful practice. When you notice yourself swinging emotionally, mentally, energetically, pause. Place your hand on your heart. Close your eyes. Ask, where do I wish to stand? Choose your frequency. Breathe it in. Hold it like a flame. This is not denial. It is direction. Another practice, use sound, music, or movement to shift your inner rhythm. The body understands vibration more quickly than the mind. Dance slowly when you feel anxious. Chant or hum to center your breath. Walk with intention when your thoughts scatter. Rhythm heals rhythm. Remember, you are not separate from the all, and the all is rhythm. When you master rhythm within you, come into harmony with the cosmos. You stop fighting life and start conducting it. You become a vessel through which divine timing flows. Synchronicity increases. Resistance decreases. You move with grace because grace moves with you. Ask yourself, where in my life can I rise above the swing? Not by suppression, but by choosing a higher anchor. You are not the tide. You are the moon that pulls it. You are not the emotion. You are the soul that feels it. You are not the rhythm. You are the rhythm maker. This is your birthright. This is your return. Let yourself remember what you have always known, that the swing is sacred, but you are sovereign. That the rhythm is eternal, but so is your power to dance with it. So now, you stand at the edge of remembering. You've journeyed through the tides, the pendulum swings, the moonlit reflections, and the seasons of your soul. And you've begun to glimpse the quiet truth beneath them. All you are not powerless. You are not lost in the current. You are the alchemist at the helm, the rhythm within the rhythm, the observer whose awareness transforms everything it touches. You need not fight the rise and fall. You need only remember your center. You need only trust the law and lean into the sacred flow that has never failed you, not once, not ever. Even in your darkest winters, something in you has always known the sun would rise again. That knowing is your compass. That rhythm is your heartbeat. Now, as you move back into your life, into traffic, into schedules, into noise, carry this stillness with you. Let every breath be an act of remembrance. Let every swing be an opportunity to choose. Let every season whisper its hidden gift. You were never meant to be ruled by the rhythm. You were meant to master it. So, dear listener, gentle soul, sovereign spirit, what rhythm will you choose to dance to now? Live with intention. Walk with the moon and awaken the alchemist within.